The physicist Albert Einstein is always an example of intelligence, and in our daily dialogues, we do not meet someone involved in a field that we liken to Albert Einstein. But the question arises, why does this happen with Albert Einstein in particular, without other scientists? Is he really the smartest person in the world, or? Welcome to my channel Midnight Questions. Do you think that if we entered Einstein's brain, what would we find? This question, despite his estrangement. However, Einstein did have an answer that after he died, his body would be completely cremated, but physician and pathologist Thomas Harvey, while he was examining the corpse, stole Einstein's brain without anyone knowing because he believed that the brain landed in a formalin vessel, x-rayed it, and began conducting tests and research on it in secret. Decades later, Ali was announced as his work, and other scientists and researchers began to participate in the study of Einstein's brain, which they discovered was that the weight of Einstein's brain was about 30 grams, which is considered slightly less than the normal range of human brain weight. They noticed that some parts of the brain were thicker than normal and also predicted that the right half and left half of Einstein's brain were strongly connected. This may be a catalyst in increasing his creativity or intelligence in one way or another, but also in the end the composition and size of the brain, and it was not something interesting. They were not reason enough that Einstein is a genius, and indeed, statistically Albert Einstein is not the smartest person in the world or anything. In fact, he is not even on the list of the 10 smartest people in the world, or even smarter than a person, or even smarter than 1,000 people. There are thousands of people ahead of Albert Einstein in intelligence. Only before we continue, let's ask, do you think is intelligence a natural thing that exists in a person or an acquired need, like other skills? And if the IQ is low, we can develop it with time, or not. Write us in the comments, and at all, and you are under the beautiful like, so that this helps us reach the largest number of people, and subscribe to activate the bell for me who did not participate. Back to our scientists say that the average IQ of the average person is about 100 degrees, and if this number reached 70 and below, this means that the person is not smart, but if this number reached 130 and above, it means that the person is very smart for what he estimated became Albert Einstein's IQ of about 160, and before you are impressed you feel that it is a mythical number. Let me tell you that there are people in the world who have a much higher IQ than this. Isaac Newton, for example, his IQ is 190 degrees. And the well-known chess player Garry Kasparov, IQ 194, and you have the Australian mathematician Terence Tao, and he got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and he has 16 years, IQ 230, but the American mathematician William J. Invy, researchers estimate his IQ at 250 degrees, and William J. was fluent in a range of languages, including Latin, French, German, and Turkish, and he has 8 years of witness remain that all people or countries and many others, when we compare their IQ with Einstein's IQ, we will find them surpassing him by a big difference. But despite this, the name Einstein in particular is still the one that is associated with intelligence and genius, and not others. So what is the reason? Let's take the subject step by step regarding IQ, as it is unexpectedly not enough evidence at all to judge a human IQ. The IQ tests adopted, like the Stanford-Penel scale and the David-Wechsler scale, show how intelligent a person is, but from certain angles, and do not show all his mental abilities, and this is because these tests are usually highly dependent on attention and discrimination between things, and are also dependent on memory, like the ability to memorize numbers and complete sentences and words, and most of the questions. The speed factor is very important to solve, and if the person is not fast enough to choose the answers, then his result in IQ is the least of these reasons that make intelligence tests incomplete and insufficient at all in judging the IQ of a human being. Yes, speed of intuition is an important thing in judging intelligence, but it is hard, and it does not work to remain the basic rule, as if exactly one is smart and studied well but slow in writing, we can't judge him to be a student. This is in addition to the fact that there are different types of intelligence, in which people, for example, have a high rate of linguistic and verbal intelligence and have very high skills in reading, writing, and describing things at the time when they meet other people who have intelligence in mathematics and a high ability to solve arithmetic operations and puzzles, and the installation and decoding of things, and meet other people who have pure conceptual and spatial intelligence and can deal with images, colors, and drawings in a different way than others. They are all different types of intelligence that will not work if I turn a blind eye to them. What is the point of all this talk? What is the goal? To make it clear that Einstein was characterized by a certain aspect of intelligence that was not found in any other scientist at that time, and this aspect was the ability to analyze information in bold scientific imagination and link things together. Einstein was not the smartest one in mathematics, and this is by his own admission, and he used his first wife Mileva and his friend the physicist Nikola Basu to help him solve the mathematical problems that he met, but he had certain imaginations and vision no one in the world there was someone else who saw it. It exists in his brain, and he tried to formulate it on paper in the form of scientific theories and make sure of their correctness, and this Einstein was very adept at it. Meaning it is really possible that the Australian mathematician Tyrone Setter, who we mentioned a little while ago, an LEIQ in 230 be smarter than Einstein in the speed of calculations, but this is refreshing that Einstein may be superior to him in the ability to bold scientific imagination, and the biggest example of this can be the idea of black holes. Einstein's contemporaries described him as combining science and philosophy because of his strange scientific perceptions that he says all the time. In 1915 AD, Einstein published the theory of general relativity that talks about gravity, and modified the law of attraction working Newton and Ellie was completely taken for granted for about 2.5 centuries, and sparked great controversy when he described time and space as one fabric and degraded very precise equations and relationships that predict the orbits of the planets around the sun. At that time, all people were skeptical of what he was saying, but by 1919, English astronomers Frank Dyson and Arthur E. Denton estimated that they were applying his equations and measurements during a solar eclipse this year, and the surprise is that all those who Einstein said that it was true. Einstein after here formulated the concept of gravity and linked time to space. He talked in his research papers about a need called gravitational waves and also predicted the existence of a foreign body called a black hole. At that time, no one was understanding what he said, yes, and there were no monitoring mechanisms to confirm his words. At that time astronomy was very positioned, but what is amazing is that after about 100 years his prophecy came true, and with the passage of time Einstein's equations and theories proved to be trustworthy, and modern physics was fully built on them, and this made Einstein now the genius scientist loved by everyone. And with this we reach the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and support me so that everything new reaches the meeting in the next